What's going on, guys? Bodhi here. Back in April, I was banned for allegedly macroing on my old account, and it was first a temporary ban, and a couple of days later I got banned once more, and it was a permanent ban the second time around, which is pretty standard. That's usually how it is. Break the rule once and you will just get a slap on the wrist. You will get 2 days or something, and do it again and you will be receiving a permanent ban, unless they suspect that you are doing real world trading, in which case they might ban you on first offense if they're sure about that one, or gold farming of some sorts. But yeah, I was banned for macroing, and temporarily banned for macroing, and then subsequently permanently banned for macroing, as you can see right here. And the ban is obviously false. I have not broken any rules. I have not macroed. I have not used the bot. I have not scripted. Not done anything that is outside the game rules. So yeah, the ban is false and it has not been corrected. The ban still stands, and you can also see that 2 appeals have been denied in the process as well. So I am also fully aware of what I got banned for. Something that I've been banned for in the past as well, actually. But I'm banned for, well, what gave me the ban is the fact that I have my laptop, I played on this old account on my laptop. I have remapped the spacebar to left click, and then I was just auto, not auto, I was just high alching with the spacebar, just tapping my feet on the spacebar button. And that's what gave me the temporary ban in the first place. And I got unbanned. And since I know I wasn't breaking the rules, I just continued doing the spacebar, not auto-alging, regular alging with the spacebar. And a couple of days later, after continuing the alging, I was permanently banned. And both appeals have been denied. After I got the temporary ban, I submitted an appeal, and it was denied. And when I received the permanent ban, I also submitted an appeal, and that was also denied. So both appeals have been denied, and I've also tried to reach out to the JMods, but no response. But yeah, this is something that I have been banned for in the past as well. This also happened back in 2022. And back then I was going for rank 1 XP in leagues, and I did the same thing. I remapped the spacebar on my laptop to left click, and I was clicking Gem Knights. Back then, luckily, there was a JMod who looked into the ban right away, within a couple hours of me actually receiving the ban. I believe it was the first day of Friday that I got banned, and had I not gotten unbanned then I would not have succeeded in my mission of getting rank 1 XP. So I was really fortunate that he looked into the ban right away, like such a quick process in that one. So I can leak the DMs. It's not anything really confidential. Let me see here. Here it is. It's the DM with the former anti-cheat. So I'm asking if he can look into the account. It's falsely banned for macroing, and I believe that it was probably Gem Knights that flagged the account for macroing, and he responds pretty fast after my DM, saying that he is sorry and that he has unbanned the account. And it's the exact same motions that I've been banned for this time, but there's no anti-cheat to deal with it this time around. And I also don't think there's been, like, there's no one who's really looked into it. It's entirely automated process, because when I got banned the first time, I waited a little bit before I submitted an appeal, but then around 1 day after I had submitted the appeal, it was already denied. And it was the second time around when I received the perm ban. That was also the same thing that happened. I waited a little bit before I submitted an appeal, and 1 day or so after submitting the appeal had already been denied. So obviously, you can tell that nobody has manually looked into this ban, because they get several thousand appeals a day, of course. So there's just no way they would have gotten around to looking into it already by then. So it's mostly an automated process. No one has actually looked into it. So yeah, it's really unfortunate. And I do believe that there's probably a higher rate of false bans now than there used to be back in the day. Back then, when people used to say that they had been falsely banned, I knew that most of the time it was just completely made up. Especially when the JMods have manually looked into it. You know back then that JMods manually looked into a lot of these bans, and so you had a really high rate of getting these bans correct. So while there could be some false bans because of being automatically flagged, they would always correct them. So if they had falsely banned someone, they would just correct the ban and it would be all good again. And I'm actually fine with that. I don't have a particular problem with getting false banned initially, as long as it's corrected upon further inspection, as long as it's reviewed again. It's like there needs to be some sort of automatic system. That's totally fine. Just dish out a lot of bans. But what also needs to be the case is that there's a manual way to correct the mistakes that they're making with the automatic system. And this seems like we're not really getting that right now, because there's no way this account should have been permanently banned. If there was some JMod who just looked into the ban, they would see right away, yeah, this is not auto-clicking, this is not gold farming or whatever. So it's kind of ridiculous. But not only that, it's also the fact that the account that I got banned on, the old account that I got banned on, it's shared with my main account. It's on the same Jagex account, the same Jagex launcher, which is kind of weird, because you would think that would serve as like a safety net. You would think that because it's on a Jagex account, it's not its own entity. You would probably point to these other accounts. Let's take a look and see if there's a pattern here. But you will quickly find out that since it's my main account, they can probably tell that since it's shared with my main account, they can probably tell that there's probably something fishy with this ban, and they probably got it wrong. I could understand if it wasn't on a Jagex account, if it wasn't on a Jagex account that had other characters associated with it, if it was just its own standalone thing. But since there are so many accounts with this Jagex launcher, you would think, okay, this is where we need to provide some good customer support. This is where we need to step in. Not these throwaway Venezuelan singular accounts that are very clearly failing the shit test right off the bat. But in this case, when I have a Jagex account, it's really silly that they haven't bothered to look further into it. This is where you would think that there is some benefit to actually having the Jagex accounts. So to me, that's just a weird part, that despite the fact that I have a Jagex account and this account that was banned is associated with my main as well, like how do I still get banned? This shouldn't be possible. They should be able to get it correct then. That should be one of the benefits of having a Jagex account. But I don't really have a particular issue with getting banned, as long as it would just be corrected. And that was always the case back in the day. When someone got banned, if the ban was incorrect, they would quickly make up for it. They would correct the mistake that they had made. And that doesn't seem to be the case now, since it was possible for me to get banned and they haven't corrected it. Both appeals denied, and my attempts at reaching out to the JMods have been unsuccessful as well. So yeah, it's really unfortunate. But I still think there are a lot of people that are claiming that they haven't cheated it, despite the fact that they have. Like, me getting falsely banned now doesn't change my view on that. It's not like I think, oh, now there's just a huge amount of people that are falsely banned. There are some players that are falsely banned, but I just don't think it's a ridiculous amount of players. they are getting most of the bans that they shout correct. I do believe that. And it's good that they ban players at a high rate, I think, as long as there would just be a safety net where they would correct it upon the further inspection that they made. So, like, the thing is, when you have a lot of false positives, you will over-regulate. You will ban a lot of players that shouldn't have been banned, which is obviously totally unacceptable. We shouldn't be having false bans. But the inverse is also unacceptable. When you have a lot of false negatives, when a lot of people are cheating, but they don't get caught, then you get under-regulation. Both situations are completely unacceptable. I won't highlight one being particularly worse than the other. It's Ebola or cancer. It's really important that cheaters get caught and they get dealt with swiftly. And it's really important that people aren't falsely banned. So either scenario is completely unacceptable. So I'm actually fine with Jagex handing out a lot of bans, so long as they just correct it again once they get the chance. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Maybe to wrap it off, like, you could ask, why do I care about getting banned on an old account? Is just an old account, who really cares? You can just make a new one. Yeah, it doesn't matter that much. And it is pretty easy to make an old account. It doesn't take that much work, but it's still the principle. And I would rather not have to bother with making an old account if I could make the choice. And it's also a lot of GP investment into leveling the account, and it's pretty boring to do it. I don't mind it as long as I don't get banned for what I'm doing. I'm not gonna complain about it, having to make an old account, but I also want to reap the fruits, right? So I could just make a new one, but when there's no guarantee that it won't get banned, it's really frustrating. You obviously want to have the account that is legitimate. You want to be able to play the account that is entirely legitimately played. So yeah, I could make a new one. I could just start over, but it's really just annoying, and it shouldn't have to be that way. And it's also like there was also a lot of GP on the account, a lot of assets on the account that I would like to reclaim, of course. And the account itself would have benefited my main a lot if it wasn't banned. It had completed all the quests that it needed to complete, and I didn't even really need to high elgon the account either. I was just like, yeah, I'll take the magic levels, and then I don't have to bother with selling the Black D'hide bodies that I was crafting on my main. So yeah, it's a bit annoying. I'll get over it, but I hope that Jagex eventually consider looking into this ban, because the ban is naturally false, and a false ban should naturally be corrected. So yeah, I'll cut it here. It was a shorter one. Have fun.